Hi, Viking scholars. So question number 4 is asking us to find the radius of this cone when we're given the volume. Now, unlike problems where you're given the radius, you're given the height, and you're asked to find the volume, where the V, the volume, is already by itself, it's isolated, so you don't have to really do any algebraic manipulation. For this problem, you're going to have to do some massaging and manipulating of the problem in order to isolate a variable that's like chunked in there with the rest of the values. So we're going to start this problem by writing down what we know. We know that we have a cone, and we know that the volume formula for a cone is the area of the base times the height of the figure divided by 3. That's for any one-based figure, right? So unlike a two-based figure, like a cylinder or a prism, we have to divide by 3. So for cones and pyramids, remember, we're dividing by 3. So in this case, the base is a circle, since we have a cone. So pi r squared times h divided by 3. Really want you guys to write down the entire volume formula and then substitute in the values you know so that you don't get lost. I'm going to do each step of this problem in a different color. So now we're just going to substitute in the values that we know. You could isolate r, or the radius, by itself, but sometimes it's easier to plug in our values first. So we know that our volume is 550 cubic feet. We were given that information. That was really nice of them. The rest of our equation, we're going to plug in the other values we know. We know that the height is 21 feet. So we're going to plug in that. And this divided by 3. So all I did here is I plugged in the value of the volume and the value of the height. Now, you'll notice that we have an equation that has only one variable. Anytime we have an equation with only one variable, we can solve for the value of that variable. So just like when we have like x plus 2 equals 6, and we know, doing some simple algebra, that the value of x is 4, here we're going to be finding the value of r. So there's a couple different ways to do this. I think the easiest way is to circle these 3 values. Pi times 21, there's multiplication, divided by 3. I know that pi times 21 divided by 3 is going to be some number that's going to be multiplied by my radius squared. So I'm going to find that value right now. So 21 times, 21, you guys can do this with me, times pi equals 21 pi divided by 3. 21 pi divided by 3 equals, and those red values is 21 and 99 hundredths, times r squared. I still have that r squared, and I still have my 550 feet cubed. So what I did is I took 21 times pi divided by 3, and I found that that value is 21.99. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to isolate my r squared. Well, I currently have r squared being multiplied by 21.99. I need to get rid of that. Since they're being multiplied, I need to perform the inverse operation. The inverse of multiplication is division. When I do 21.99 divided by 21.99, this will reduce to 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. And that's going to leave me with just r squared on my right-hand side. Okay, this value right here reduced to 1. So I have technically 1 times r squared. Then on the left-hand side, I have 550 divided by 21.99, and that equals 25.01. Now my problem is asking me to find the radius, okay, the radius of this cone, not the radius squared. So again, I need to perform the inverse operation in order to isolate this variable. So r is being squared. I know that the inverse of squaring is to take the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of r squared to find r. Anything I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. So the square root of 25.01 is about 5, and the squiggly equal sign means about. So I'm guessing that my radius is 5 feet. I'm being asked to round to the nearest unit, and what they mean by that is the nearest whole unit. So a whole unit would be just 5.0. And I could check my work on this. How would I check my work? I would plug or substitute a radius of 5 into this equation right here, and if I get a true statement, if I get that 550 equals 550, then I know that I got the correct radius. So let's try that really quickly. Does 550 feet cubed equal pi times 5 squared times 21 divided by 3? Let's check that really quickly. 5 squared times pi times 21 divided by 3 equals, oh hey, it does. So I know that this value is correct. All of this, when I multiplied it out and found a value, was 550. I get a true statement. The left side equals the right side. This is the first way to do this problem. I'm going to upload another video that shows a second way that you could manipulate this algebraically. Good work, guys. Oops.